If you weren't worried before, you better worry now. Before we start the video today, please make sure to subscribe. Please share this video and please make sure to hit the bell notification so that you are alerted when the newest video comes out. It is Friday, May 31st, 2019. The markets got devastated today. Dow Jones down 354 points. The markets have now closed in the red for the sixth straight consecutive week here in 2019. And it could have been much, much worse, as Mexico now being slapped with a 5% tariff if they do not do something in regards to stopping this migration coming into America. The President of the United States has slapped Mexico with a 5% tariff that starts June 10th. And if they do not cooperate and make an effort to stop this migration, every month after June will be an additional 5%. So they are looking at a 10% tariff in July, 15% tariff in August, a 20% tariff in September. Every month, an additional 5% will go on if they do not cooperate with the United States of America. Now, I said today could have been much worse. We could have easily lost 600, 700, 800 points in the Dow today, or even more, with everything that's happening with the China trade war, the tariffs on Mexico, the global slowdown, just the U.S. economy, everything that is taking place right now. The dollar got crushed. We could have really had a really ugly day here, but the markets know that there is a rate cut coming in June, and without a doubt, this Fed is going to step in and cut rates this June. And so the markets know that. It could have been much worse. It wasn't, but we continue to see more warning signs and more bad news as the 10-year bond slipped down to 2.12% today. It's right now at 2.13%. This is the lowest since September 2017. Yield curve inversion is now the widest it has been since 2007. The Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, worst month since December. We've lost more than 2% just this week. Again, the Fed will have no choice but to come in and try and fix this. As they always do, they're going to cut the rate and do whatever they have to do to get these markets back on track. Gold is at around $18.90 up today. Silver was up about 7 cents. So we see people running into bonds. We see people running into precious metals. People are starting to look for safety. There is a small amount of panic starting to set in. People are realizing, investors are starting to realize that something is wrong here. Now, most investors are going to stay in and try and ride this out, and they are going to get burned. But the smart money is getting out. Well, we saw a large amount of money pulled out of the market this week. I think globally, right now, this month, we've seen $5 trillion wiped out of the global markets. $5 trillion in global stocks. I'm reading this right now in Zero Hedge. $5 trillion in global stocks has been wiped out in May. This is the worst we have seen since 2010. We are coming to a realization, reality. And I know a lot of people don't like reality, but the reality of it is that these markets are not healthy. This economy is not strong. If it was, we would be raising interest rates right now, not getting ready to cut them. This whole thing is an illusion. It's been propped up, and I've said this time and time again. This is an artificial market. This is an artificial economy. It's man-made. It's all propped up. It's been injected with printed money. It's been propped up with low interest rates. It's been propped up with corporate buybacks. The whole thing is completely artificial, and it still cannot function without help. And this is why the Fed is going to have to come in June and try to prop it up yet again. You know, every time the economy gets sick, every time it sneezes, the Fed comes in and just gives it a little dose of medicine, another rate cut, more quantitative easing, the medicine is going to lose its effect on this patient. All they have left are rate cuts and quantitative easing. What else can they do? They can do nothing but cut rates and print more money. When the economy does not respond to the medicine, we are going to have massive trouble here in the United States. I read an article this morning on Fox Business. The U.S. is no longer the world's most competitive economy. Who is? It's Singapore and Hong Kong. The United States is now third and falling. This should be very, very concerning. Here's some more bad news. And another reason why they're going to continue to do more damage by these rate cuts and by this quantitative easing. They're going to continue to devalue what is left of the US dollar. And these cuts and the quantitative easing are not going to have the same effects that it has had in the past. And so what happens when quantitative easing and rate cuts don't have the same effects? What is going to happen to America? What is going to happen to the economy? Here's an article today. The average millennial has an average net worth of $8,000. That's far less than previous generations. I'm shocked that it's even that much. Net worth of Americans 18 to 35 has dropped 34% since 1996 here in the United States of America. Your standard of living is not going up, it is going down. The middle class especially has been decimated. Education expenses have climbed 65% in the past decade. Has your paycheck gone up 65%? Food costs are up 26%, healthcare 21%, housing up 16%, and these are all very conservative numbers. Cost of this has gone up much more in many areas of the country. Only 20% say they were better off in 2017 than in 2007. People are spending less on retail, especially the millennials. So what are retailers doing? They're making cheaper clothes, trying to push costs down. But I know that most of you probably noticed this. You go into a retailer, you buy a product, it's made in a third world country. It's cheaply made. The material is cheap. You go to Walmart, for instance, buy a shirt at Walmart. It's not going to last you a year. It's going to shrink. It's going to shred apart. And so yet you're going to pay $20 for a shirt at Walmart. It won't last a year because this garbage is made in third world countries with the cheapest material. But this is what people can afford today. This is all they can afford. And when you go to the grocery store and you buy a box of cereal, it's half full and it doesn't taste like the cereal used to taste 10 years ago. The food quality is cheaper and you're getting the same box, but you're getting less in the box and the quality is less. So they're cutting corners everywhere just to keep going. Businesses cutting every corner they can to stay afloat. So you're getting less quality, and you're paying more. So not only are we getting less with retail, there was an article that came out last night on Zero Hedge. Fox News also did a special on this. We're so dependent on our retail coming from Asia and Bangladesh and China and all these third world countries. But did most of you know that the U.S. is dependent on China for almost 80% of its medicine? I mean, this is really scary to think how dependent we are as a country on so many other countries. We now import more food than we export, so we're dependent on countries for food. We're dependent on countries like China for medicine. We're dependent on countries for steel, car products, everything. I mean, you name it. We are importing so much here as a country that we don't make. We do not make much. We do not manufacture many things here in America anymore. So we are reliant, we are dependent on most of the world. Think about if we got into a world war. Could we survive? It wouldn't be like the Second World War where America made everything. We made all of our own weaponry, our own steel. We now import weaponry that we don't make. We import a lot of weaponry into America because we don't make it. We're dependent now on other countries to build our weapons. And so that really should be alarming to many of you, that if we got into a very big war, into a world war, could America survive? Could we win? Could we last? Because we don't make a lot of these products here in America. We don't make a lot of things here. We're dependent on other countries. And so how would we get those products quickly, efficiently in wartime to win a war? I don't think we would. And so it's very scary to think where we are and how weak we are as a country, how we're becoming weaker and weaker financially, militarily, and in so many different ways. Very alarming. Debt-laden Americans flee country to escape crushing student loans. This is also on Zero Hedge today. We have a student loan debt crisis here in America. I think it's about $1.53 trillion. Around 30% of people have defaulted now on these loans. I believe we have 3 million plus senior citizens who haven't even paid their student loan debt back. 3 million student loans owned by senior citizens who cannot pay this back. So it just seems like we have one major dilemma after the other. And so what are people doing? They're defaulting and they're leaving the United States of America, just leaving it. So as we have people fleeing the country to escape debt, I mean, it's really unfortunate that the cost of tuition is ridiculous, and many people getting these degrees, these worthless degrees, are going to land up working in service sector jobs like Starbucks, McDonald's, bartending, becoming waiters and waitresses. And yet they're going to rack up $40,000, $50,000, $80,000 in debt. And so now many people feel forced to just escape, leave the country. And it's really a sad state of affairs where we are at as a country. But getting back to what happened today, these markets got rocked. We will see a rate cut in the very near future, but this is just another warning sign that things are not good. And so they're going to inject the patient, the economy, with some more adrenaline, another rate cut. And I'm sure the markets will go up temporarily, but it's going to wear off. These injections don't last as long as they used to. The medicine is definitely wearing off. And it's telling people, and it's telling the world, that the U.S. economy isn't as strong as many people believe it is. Because if it was, we would be raising rates, not cutting rates. We wouldn't see 10-year bond yields at 2.13%. We wouldn't see the Dow Jones getting slammed today, down 354 points. We wouldn't see 6 consecutive weeks in these markets landing up in the red. We have a critical emergency coming here to America. We are on the brink of an economic collapse. And as I've said, the recession has started. Now it is a matter of how bad it is going to get and how long it is going to last. So I'm going to wrap this video up, guys. Before I go, I just want to touch base on a couple quick notes. This morning, I purchased more precious metals. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you what I did. I purchased more precious metals this morning. Watching what we are watching unfold in these markets, what's going on in the bond market, what we witnessed happen in the metals market today, people are turning to safety. Now, we have a China trade war going on. We have tariffs being slapped on Mexico. We have a global slowdown. We have a yield curve inversion. We have a retail apocalypse, real estate falling off of a cliff. Look, this is just a handful of things going on that are telling me that I need to protect myself. The two most undervalued assets in the world are gold and silver. They are still on a blue light sale. So I grabbed more of that today because I believe that this is just the tip of the iceberg, that we are going to see some very extreme, severe financial things happening here in the United States of America. So listen, guys, make sure, number one, you have security. I believe that this president is going to win in 2020. And because of that, I believe we're going to see extreme blowback coming from the other side. I believe you're going to see a lot of people lashing out physically at the conservative side. And I believe it's imperative that you protect yourself and protect your family. This is a great time to go out and make a purchase and go train, hire an instructor and go train, get proficient with a firearm, get proficient with tactics. And right now is the perfect time to be working on that. Also, obviously, we must be topping off preps, food, water. Make sure you have gear. Make sure you have a good pair of boots. You have the clothing, everything you might need in case the lights ever go out. Listen, we have a very dark group of people. You could call it a shadow government. They're not going away. I truly believe they are going to do everything they can to pull this economy down and blame this president for it. They have the ability to do it. And I truly believe that we will see that. We could see other false flags take place. And so if the lights go out, remember, you are on your own. You are responsible for you and your family, so be your own security. And financially, remember, have cash and have assets put away. If the power went out, if there was a cyber attack, if there was a false flag, do you think your credit card, do you think that piece of plastic is going to work at Walmart? Do you think you're going to go and buy something from somebody unless you have some cash or you have some gold or unless you have some silver or you have some other asset to barter with? That could be bullets, that could be food, that could be water, what have you. So make sure you are topped off with all preps, including security and including the two most undervalued assets in the entire world, gold and silver, which are on sale today. Even though gold was up close to $20 today and silver was up about 7 cents, they are still at a blue light sale. And if you have the means to get some today, I would. There's no excuse for anybody out there that cannot go buy an ounce or two of silver today. Go work an extra hour, get up an hour earlier, go do something productive and make a couple dollars, go sell something, have a garage sale, cut something out in your life. Look, I had to make some sacrifices. I'm not going to Vegas this weekend. I'm not going out for an elaborate dinner. I'm not taking a weekend trip. I'm not going out and buying toys. I took my hard-earned money this morning and I said, I need to protect myself. And I went and I bought more precious metals. And I believe you should do the same. And remember this, I will promise you this, they will never be worth zero. Nobody can make that promise about a stock, a bond, or any piece of paper. But I will make that promise today that gold and silver will never be worth zero. I don't sell gold or silver, but I will tell you this, I buy it. I don't work for anybody. I don't sell it. I buy it. Why do I buy it? Because I believe in it. I believe that it is going to be here till the end of time. It's been here since the beginning of time. It will be here till the end of time. It is God's money. And I truly, truly believe that gold and silver are two of the most important assets you can have financially in your life. Listen, guys, have an incredible weekend. Don't live life paranoid. Live life prepared. Be preparing. Enjoy life. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless every one of you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share this video. Talk to you very soon.